Hello and welcome to another episode of Always Tell Me the Odds, Star Wars Unlimited podcast. I am Marcus, or Faluin, and with me today is, as usual, Magnus, or Dragonfly. Hello, Magnus.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Doing great. Good.
Yeah.
It's Saturday morning for us.
Yeah, so it's always nice.
Yeah.
So how you're doing fine as well, I guess.
I am very good, thank you.
Yeah, great.
So good. So, what have you been up to? When was the last time we recorded? It was like a week ago, about. So, what have you been up to since then in Star Wars Unlimited?
We recorded after our PQ last.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I've been deciding or trying out new decks.
Mm-hmm.
I've played Palpatine a lot, which I played in the PQ, and I think I'm gonna take a little break from Palpatine. I really like the leader, and I don't want to play him too much, so I get tired of him. So I think I'm gonna try out some new leaders and new decks. So I've just been like browsing around, trying out, testing, looking at lists, and to see what I want to play. We have a few store showdowns coming up in the near future, so. I think something a bit more casual as well. Maybe I've been looking at Dr. Aphra. I won a showcase of Dr. Aphra in an online tournament for a few weeks ago, so I'm interested in trying out to play with my showcase card.
Yeah. Also surprising all the opponents, because it's not Dr. Aphra is not a leader that we see very often around here.
It would be fun to take Dr. Aphra to a showdown, but we'll see. I have to get a deck to work somewhat at least. So what have you been up to then?
Well, it's the same here. I haven't done very much actually after the PQ. What I have done is that I've been continuing playing my Rey deck, my Rey Tarkin Town, a little bit online on Carabast, and also like looking at it and trying to evaluate a little bit what happened on the PQ in Copenhagen and so on, because I'm still so new. I kind of know that there's nothing wrong with the deck, because it's a deck that's very common, people using it. People are in top 8 cut in PQs and so on with that deck, so it's something that I do. So I've been like trying it out and figuring out what I could do better and so on. So we're learning, basically. But I also looking.
Have you done any big changes to the deck?
Not really, or not at all, actually. I've just tried it and tried to figure out what's working for me and not. And I have some thoughts about it, but I don't know really. I think I need to sit down with some of you who know the game better and like discuss it a little bit and see what is up, kind of. But I also looking into other leaders. I have built a Rex ECL deck, Captain Rex. And I really like playing with that. I've been playing with that in our local community a little bit, and it's so much fun. I know it's not the strongest leader, but it's a lot of fun to play. So I don't know. I still trying out stuff and learning. So
yeah, but that's I mean, that's the best with the game, to just play decks you really enjoy playing.
Yeah, have fun with it.
I mean. Have fun with it, especially when you just play casual at our game nights and such.
Yeah, for sure. And also there are 3 store showdowns that we are like have fairly close to us, and I probably miss all 3 of them because of kids' birthdays and stuff like that. But
it's really sad.
Yeah, it's really sad. I'm really annoyed with. But we'll see. I'll try to see if I can get. At least one of them.
One maybe.
At least one of them. But we'll see. But I also preparing for something that we did on Thursday with our local play group. Preparing for Twin Suns.
Yeah. So
and I know you have done that too.
We did play a few games of Twin Suns this Thursday.
So should we explain for people who don't know what it is? What is Twin Suns?
Yeah. It's quite easy to explain. So Twin Suns is the multiplayer format that FFG has made for the game. So the big difference is instead of when you build your deck, instead of choosing one leader, you choose 2 leaders.
crazy stuff.
You still have to only be heroism or villainy, so you can't mix that up. But you choose 2 heroes, 1 base, 50 plus carded deck so far. I think it is with the next set they will put that up to 80 cards, I think, minimum. And you can only have 1 of each card in your deck as well. So that is
quite the difference.
Strange when you start building the deck, because you want to put like 3 of all the good cards.
It was super hard to do. It's like, just take a list and just like throw all the cards in. It's like weird.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah. But it also means that you also means that you can have 3 different aspects. So you have like a huge pool of cards to choose between.
Yep.
So that's cool.
I mean, or you can go double aspect and third as well, and so it's very, very fun. I mean, sometime in the future, I guess they'll print triple aspect cards just for Twin Suns, because you could actually get like 3 cunning.
We were talking about
something like that.
It's interesting.
Would be fun if they do that in the future.
And I mean, you can also use them in Premiere, because you just need to pay the extra costs.
Costs more. But, that's right. Yeah. True. So you play. It's made for 3 to 4 players. Most people I've talked to that played it a bit more than we have say that 4 is definitely the number you want to go for. Yeah. If you play it with 3, might be to like one guy gets to
bashed on,
targeted or bashed on, or 4 seems to be the sweet spot.
Yeah.
And you do your turn as normal. You can attack any player on the table or any player's units, or you can attack 2 different players, or like during your turn you can attack whatever you want. And another big difference is you cannot pass. You cannot take the pass action. You have to do an action.
Yeah.
Or when you can't do any more actions or don't want to do any more actions, you have to claim the initiative. Or in this game, they have 2 other counters as well. One called plan counter and one called blast counter.
Yeah.
So you can take the plan counter, and then you have the opportunity to draw a card and put 1 card from your hand on the bottom of your deck. Or you can take the blast counter, and that does 1 damage to each other player's base. Yeah. So it speeds up the game a bit.
Yeah. It was also
every turn there is going to get damage on all players except one's base.
Exactly. So, that was a little bit hard, actually, harder than I thought. The not passing thing.
Yeah.
I seldom use pass when I play just like against each other in Premiere, but now this time I was like, I really want to pass because there's so much going on all the time. But
So, but I guess that's a good rule, because you have to get the game going.
For sure.
If everybody could pass it, it would have taken a long time to play.
Yeah, I think it was a really good rule, actually. And all those 2 extra tokens, the plan and the blast, they were a lot of fun, because they put in an extra dimension to the game that it was a lot of fun to have there.
Yeah, I mean, I often took like the blast counter before taking the initiative, because sometimes the initiative wasn't so important for me for the next turn to start, so I took the blast instead to do damage on all of your bases. And so it's quite and I mean, if you have a bad hand of cards, you can take the plan counter to get the opportunity to change 1 card in your hand. So I really like that as well.
I use that,
and then you play the game until 1 player is taken out. When 1 player's base has been
destroyed.
Destroyed. Sorry.
But it's also I don't know Magic very well, Magic the Gathering, but I think it's called Command there when you play the multiplayer, right? Because there you go.
Commander,
there you go until all players except 1 are dead.
Yeah.
And I've been playing that once, and it drags out forever. So I really like this one thing that when 1 person is dead, you finish the phase and then the game ends. I really like that.
So I mean, more players could get destroyed because you finish the phase, so it's possible that more than one player gets destroyed. But when the first player gets destroyed, then that triggers the end of the game.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good rule as well, because if you are like 4 players, you don't want to get destroyed in like 5 minutes and then sit and wait for the others to play a 2-hour game or something like that. So it's super. It's a smart way to keep everyone playing.
So who is the winner then?
And also when you destroy a player, you heal your base 5.
Yeah.
So there is as you said, then who's the winner? Well, it's quite easy as well. The winner is the player with the most health on their base when the game ends. Yeah.
Well, or actually, I would say that is the like. No, it's actually what you said. The most damage
most
left.
Health.
Yeah. Because we have a little bit of trouble there, because I played with a 26 health base, and the others played with 30, and I had like 15 damage, and the others also had that, and then I will lose because I have
So I think the 30 health bases are like standard.
Yeah.
I think you got to have a really good reason to not use a 30 health base in Twin Suns.
And we fairly fast said that because one of us had, not us, but one of the players there had a ECL, and they were like, that is not at all good here. It's just
no.
So
So he changed for the next game. He played that deck to a 30 health base as well, because doesn't feel that good to play with less.
Exactly.
And so what did you bring? What deck did you bring?
Yeah, so I brought a Han Solo 2, the red Han Solo, and an Obi-Wan. So Han Solo and Obi-Wan, and with a yellow base. And my reasoning behind that was that I can play the cards 1 turn earlier, since Han Solo makes it cost 1 less, but it also makes 2 damage to the unit. But since I have Obi-Wan can heal 1, so I could play a card for 1 cheaper, make 2 damage, and then heal with Obi-Wan for 1. So it was, I think it was a pretty good combo, actually, because most often I could heal both of the damage that Han made with Obi-Wan. So I could most often play the unit or whatever the unit 1 turn earlier, and then heal them up. So I had a good value of them.
Yeah, that feels like a good combo.
Yeah.
There is a lot of combos to find in Twin Suns, I guess.
If I thought it was hard to find a leader to play in Premier, but now I need to combine them also.
Yeah.
And what did you play?
Super fun to try. Yeah. So I went I tried to make a separatist deck. So I played Dooku and Newt Gunray.
Yeah.
And I actually did try to keep the separatist theme throughout the deck. So I didn't bring in big. And I had a yellow base, so I had yellow, green, and blue. I actually didn't have that many legendary cards in my deck either. I think I only had 2 legendary cards in my deck. I had a clone, a card that's actually felt quite good in Twin Suns.
It was good.
Because there's it's always, when you get up to 7 resources, there's probably one of your opponents that puts out the good units that you can clone. Yeah. So that felt quite good.
Yeah.
And of course I had Grievous units, the 4/4 blue legendary. I think that was my only 2 legendaries in the deck. I went hard on the separatist theme on my deck.
I had more legendaries, but I actually, when I was playing, I thought, I was like, I don't know if I need those. For instance, Luke Skywalker, I had that, and it's still a super good unit, but it's not as good as in Premier, because when I put it out and I make the -3 on something, there's always something else that is good, because when you're up at 7 resources, there's always some big stuff there. So it's like, and you also just have 1 card of Luke. So it's like, when he dies, he dies. And what else do I have in my deck then? So,
and I mean, I feel like all of the games we played, ended around 7-8 resources.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Because that's when like almost all of the leaders have had the opportunity to deploy
Yeah.
when you get to 7, and definitely when you get to 8. So
Yeah.
that escalates the game quite
Really
a
fast.
lot when
Yeah, for
when
sure.
all these big nice like all these great units got to deployed and yeah,
for sure.
a lot of things started to happen
Mhm.
when
Yeah.
all the heroes got out, the leaders.
So what do you think was the hardest thing with Twin Suns, playing Twin Suns, like in general?
I mean, I think the hardest thing is to really try to make good decisions that takes like gives you the win,
Mhm.
because it's really hard to know.
Mm.
Both with there's 3 more players that's gonna do things that you don't know what they're gonna
Yeah.
do or what their plan is, and you have to like check all the bases, how much damage does people have,
Yeah.
am I leading with least amount, and then you attack a player and trying, okay, maybe I should attack this player, he's not that far away from getting destroyed,
Mm.
and then the next action someone hits you for like 7 your base, and
Yeah.
all of the sudden you're way behind.
Yeah.
And it's like super hard to really
To read the game.
like, yeah, to read
It
the
is.
game and to have control
Yeah.
over the game. But
I
I mean, I think my deck wasn't the best deck. Definitely wasn't the best deck on the table at all.
mm,
It was more of a theme deck. I had the possibilities of like exploiting out big units early.
yeah.
I didn't really get to do it that much, but I think that was in the end a good thing that my deck wasn't like the best deck, because I managed to win 2 out of the 3 games we played.
Yeah, that's really good.
And I think I went under the radar a
Mhm.
bit from the other players, so,
Yeah.
so I didn't get like the most heat.
Yeah,
We
that's
had
true.
like the other players who we played. We had one player who did Han 1 and Han 2.
Yeah.
And that was an
He got a lot of
amazing
heat.
combo. Yeah, he got a lot of heat because, like, one game he played a turn 2 Poe, and another game I think it was a turn 2 Anakin,
Yeah.
and a
And
third game it
and
was
for the
a
people
turn
who
2
for people who don't know
Ki-Adi-Mundi.
it very much, they are 5 cost units. So he played that
Yeah.
with 3 resources, which is crazy.
Yeah, because he puts one down with Han 1, and then he pays one less with Han 2.
Yeah.
So that was he got a lot of heat.
Yeah.
He managed to win one of the games, though, a fairly with a lot of margin. I don't think he had any damage on his base in the end of that game, actually.
Wow.
Because he healed it up with the big unit. Relentless, I think it's called, right? Relentless, is it that? Yeah. But that was a fun deck.
Yeah.
We also had the Fett family.
The Fett
deck.
family, yeah.
Yeah. So
Boba Fett and Jango Fett.
Boba Fett and Jango Fett
Yeah.
with a green base, I
Yeah.
think.
That was horrible.
That was also on a scary pair up.
For sure.
I think.
For sure.
Yeah.
I had that in my first game. So the first game I played, I actually won that, but we had a Fett family there, and he at some point Boba Fett was like, I don't know, 10, 14 or something. It's like everybody
he got the armor on Boba.
and, yeah,
on that. Yeah.
and he just like, but the thing is that when that happened, all other 3 of us were just like throwing everything we had at him. So he got smashed really hard, but it took some effort from us for sure.
Yeah.
But coming back to what you said before, that it's hard to read a game. It's when I won that game, I felt that I was super far behind the others, and then suddenly one of us died, not me, but one guy died, and when we calculated, it's like, oh, you won. It's like, what? Okay, cool. So I think it's also like I was under the radar a little bit, so people didn't pick too much on me, and yeah, so it's hard for sure.
Yeah. And also, I think, I mean, one of the things your deck had was Obi-Wan being a Sentinel.
Yeah, that was.
I think
really
that's
good.
really good
Really
in in Twin Suns. I mean, we talked about it before. Uh, when we talked about what decks we were going to do and all of that in the group, and everyone was kind of like, okay, so Sentinel is probably good in Twin Suns, and like Restore is probably good in Twin Suns, and it really felt like that was the case. Like,
and also
when you put out the big Sentinel unit, people get like, okay, I don't want to like hit that unit twice with my stuff because I don't do anything.
Yeah, so you start bullying others instead.
Yeah.
But also, I think also we said that shields are pretty good because it's also the same theory there. I don't want to attack that unit to take away shield and hurt my own unit, and then there are two other guys who whatever they do
who can kill your unit.
Exactly, because I hurt myself taking the shield away.
And you like didn't do anything more than taking away a shield. So I think shields is a good thing as well.
So I think shields, Restore, and Sentinel. Those three things are very crucial because I had a lot of Sentinels in my deck and a lot of Restore, and I think it was super nice to just put out, because when you put out the Sentinel, you feel a little bit like safe, so you can get up and have a strategy on your own. You just have the Sentinel standing there because there's so much going on. It's so chaotic in many ways.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, another thing that I experienced was I had quite a lot of removal in my deck because I played blue villainy.
Yeah.
And I often felt like I didn't want to play like one card to remove a unit from one of the three other players.
Exactly.
Didn't feel strong enough. I'd rather put out a unit of my own instead of just killing one of my opponent's units. Didn't feel super good. So I'm a bit uncertain of like how good removal is in Twin Suns.
Same.
There are a few cards. I had the opportunity to play at least 2 times the new black card Merciless Contests. That's really good in Twin Suns because it says each player chooses a non-leader unit they control. Defeat those units. Yeah. So that's a good removal.
So everybody had to
take away.
That was annoying.
I think you had to look at more removal like that, and maybe not like takedown or I had like Rivals Fall on my hand when all the leaders started to pop onto the board. Yeah. But I didn't feel like I could play it for 6. I'd rather play out the unit for 6. I think
I do regret it though, because when we got this huge Boba Fett out, I was like, dang, I shouldn't have resourced Rival Falls. But then again, we took it away in other ways because paying 6 for that in Twin Suns, that's a lot, and I didn't want to do that because I also had Fell the Dragon, I had Takedown, I had Rivals Fall, but I didn't use them at all. I just resourced them. But what I did use was Perilous Position, the -2/-2 when I also exhaust the unit, because that permanently make them weaker, and so we can take them down more easy.
He loses the action for that phase. So that feels like that makes, and it's not that expensive to play either. It's a 3 cost. So I think more cards like that might be more interesting in Twin Suns. So but that was something you had to experience, I think.
Yeah, but I think
I think we forgot to talk. We had one more deck because we were 6 players in the start. We had we had 2 more decks, right? We had we had a Garth Saxon with Kira deck playing in the games as well. That's a good combo as well, giving people shields, and then they get +1 from Garth Saxon.
Yeah,
that was an annoying deck as well. And the last deck was in your first game. What was that? That was Garth Saxon with. What was that paired with?
That was the Garth Saxon Kira. But we also had didn't we have a Krennic?
Oh, I don't remember actually.
So much silence. We don't remember. Doesn't matter. But I think all of us had really interesting decks that worked like with cool combinations, and they worked fairly well, all of them. But since all of us were pretty new to the format, it was hard for us to read the game. But I would love to do it more, so we get a little bit more used to the format and see what happens and see what combinations is good and not, and also to see if our theories are right with that removal cards are not that good, and also that Sentinel and shields and restore actually are good, because we don't know that. That's our theory.
It's just a theory, but felt like it.
It felt like it for sure.
So, yeah.
Also, what I was thinking, at least in this in quotation marks meta, was that I would probably next time I will probably like put in a lot more space units, because we had like 2 space units in my at all in the games I played. It's like there were no space units.
Yeah, so, it was a bit low on the space units.
That was weird.
In my games as well. It was so that might be a thing, to put in a few more space units.
Also, one thing that I struggled with when playing, that made the format very hard for me, but also a lot of fun, was resourcing. Because when you had the cards, you knew that when I resource this card, I don't have any more of them, since you only have one card of each. So when I put down the Rivals for instance, I knew that I would put that down and I don't have it again. The same thing, I resourced Luke Skywalker one time, and I was like, should I do this? And I was like, yeah, it's the first turn, so I don't know if I will live this long, so I put it down, and then I knew that I don't have any more Lukes. I think that was very hard.
Yeah, that's you have to think in a whole different way than you do in a normal game.
For sure.
But I mean, I thought it was super fun to play. It's a really nice casual, at least, format to just get a bunch of friends, sit around and play.
Yeah,
have a lot of fun. It was a lot of laughs and fun things that happened. And,
it was,
the game switches a lot. Like he's in the lead now, you're in the lead, and now it's like it really switches up a lot.
It felt very chaotic to me, and a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs, that's for sure. It's a very nice format in that way, very social format. And I don't know, do you think they will have this as a competitive format at some point?
I think they will do it, at least, like, I think they already, like, when they announced the bigger tournaments, the regionals and things like that, they announced that there will be like Twin Suns side events.
All right. That's
small like tournaments or something like that. So
that's interesting.
I guess you could try to compete as well, but I think it's probably best as a just a casual fun game to play with, to try to find like wacky combinations of leaders and like you take advantage of things that you can't do in a normal game, like the Han 1 and Han 2 combo was really fun to see.
I think that's a lot of fun, for sure.
Yeah,
I
really recommend people trying it out.
For sure.
We had a super fun evening to play.
I think we will do this more times.
I guess we'll do it again. Yeah. I hope so. I'd love to play it again.
And it was fairly easy to build a deck also, because it was, you pick 2 leaders, you have a plan, and then you put in cards. And I mean, you can put in as much thought as you want, but you can't really build those like huge combination and like game flow that you have in Premiere, where you know that if I play this card and then the next turn I play this card, and it's like it ramps up. Because here is more like you don't know what you get, and you only have 1 card of each, and it's 1 in a 50 that you get that card. So it's like it's way, at least I think it's way harder to make up a game.
Yeah, you can't plan like that. No, I think the most important thing to think about when making decks in Twin Suns is to like the combination of the curve, so that you have enough like 1 and 2 costs. So you would probably draw 1 for because I think that's the last game that I lost. I didn't play anything on turn 1, and I didn't play anything on turn 4. I think I had a really bad draw. I think that was probably in deck construction. I did think about the turn 1 play, that I should have enough cards for that, but I don't think I really had enough like 3 and 4 cost cards to play on turn 4 then. Or 3. turn
I
3.
had
Sorry.
I was
Um,
I was thinking about that a lot when I did my deck, and I had, I would say 75% was 1, 2, or 3 costs, and there were very few that was stronger than that. And I think that worked out fairly well because I always had something to play, and sometimes I could play 2, 3 troops, or units, which was really good because when you got a number of units on your board, it felt a little bit intimidating to the others. So they backed out a little bit, and they didn't attack you, especially if the units were small. So at some point I had like 4 very small units, and they didn't attack me because they knew that if I take out one of them, the other 3 would come for me. So I thought a little bit different.
I guess I think it's a whole other way to think when you build the decks. You need to get, if you really wanted to try to make like a good deck.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most of us just put in cool cards and fun cards this turn and this time, and try to like, that could be cool in Twin Suns, and just maybe think about getting the best deck.
I actually had Jar Jar Binks in there.
Oh yeah, that's fun. I see. I'm looking at my deck. I had one other, of course, another separatist legendary. I forgot. Okay. I had Gore.
Oh yeah.
I got to play him once as well. He was quite good.
He came out in the when we played, and it was like it was a bomb coming in. It's like, oh no, how do we deal with this one?
It was quite
brutal,
quite annoying. I think.
Brutal.
Yeah. So.
All right. Are there anything more to say about Twin Suns? Then it was a lot of fun, and we will do it again, and we recommend people to do it.
Yeah, I do very, very much recommend. Try it out.
Sure.
It's at least once. It's very fun, in my perspective at least. So I don't think there's more to talk about that.
No, I mean we could talk about that forever, but for now, I think it's a good.
Yeah, probably we can go into detail, but I think that's fun to listen to. Maybe.
So what is coming up the coming weeks and months now? There's the store showdowns. We have 3 of them coming up very close to us, and you're going to 2 of them, right?
I am. It looks like I'm going to 2.
It looks like you're going to 2.
So actually 2 days in a row, actually. So
same weekend.
That's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, and I hopefully
hope to get like 2 decks. I would like to play 2 different decks in those, but I don't know if I have the time to get like 2 decks that I want to play. But we'll see.
Fair.
We'll see.
Yeah, and I hopefully go to 1, but I'm not sure, so we'll see. But we have our weekly meetups where we play and have fun with the game, so we'll see. Yeah. All right. So
hopefully we have a lot of previews to look forward to. And the looks like it's in what we call preview season right now. That there's showing up every week. There's going to get more and more cards revealed, so that's super fun to.
Yeah, we have
to
seen
look
some
at
cards coming out.
The next
set.
Yeah. Really looking forward to the next set. It looks like it could be really fun, and it looks like it's going to be super fun to draft as well. I do like to draft.
That's true. I guess we will go into more of a draft season also when the new set comes out. That's in March,
right?
Yeah,
probably. It's in March. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we'll get back to that. But I think we should round this up. And as usual, we have this that we always tell the odds in this podcast. And
we do.
I do have something for you this time, Magnus.
Okay.
It's a fairly easy one. At least the question is easy. So the question I have is, what is the odds that there's alien life out there?
This is on the topic of your last question, I think.
Yeah, but this is based on a study that was made 2020, because there are some math formula for this, and
I mean, I would like, because I'm of the belief that there is, so I would like to say 100%, but I guess maybe the computers didn't come up with like 100, so I'll say like 99.9% chance.
You know what? I would actually agree on that, but what I see, what that study shows, is 45% of chance being
45, only 45.
Isn't that very low?
That feels very low.
Yeah.
When you take in like consideration how big the universe is.
Yeah, because
that's, I mean, how How did they get to that
It's
number?
it's a freaking weird math. What do you say? An equation, and I'm not trusting that one. I was just like I saw that, and I was like, I need to ask you about this and see what you think about it, because it doesn't rhyme with what I hear otherwise and what I think about it. So that's a little bit weird.
Yeah, super weird. So
Yeah.
we don't trust that
No, but I have
equation at least.
So I will give you another one, because this one was weird. But this is more like you can calculate this more, and it's more of the theme of today, the twin sons.
Okay.
So this is what is the odds that you will have twins when you get kids? So when you give birth, what is the odds for getting twins? Since we're talking about twin sons, I was like, yeah, well.
Okay, nice. That's a hard one.
So it's like a 1 in something.
I mean, how many? It's not that many people that you like meet that to have a twin, or
No.
probably maybe like, could it be 1 in 100? Like 1% maybe?
Yeah, it's not too bad of a guess, actually. It's roughly 1 in every 250 natural pregnancies.
Okay, 250.
Yeah.
It was even.
So-
Yeah, it's quite rare. So
It's
yeah,
rare,
okay,
but
so-
I mean, 1 in 100 was a good guess for sure.
Yeah, it's not that far
No.
far off, I guess.
But it's also
But that's
natural
fun
pregnancies.
about this. We always want to know the odds, so now we know the odds.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's wrap it up here. So we have a Discord that you can join, and the link is in the description. And you can also find us in both the Swedish Discord and also in the international Discord. You also can check out our YouTube channel. I just put up all the episodes there, so all the podcast episodes will be there. And we are like planning to do some YouTube stuff too, not as much as the podcast, but there might be coming up something. So make sure to head over there and give us a subscription there. Also, link in description as usual. And in the Discords, Magnus is known as Dragonfly, and I am known as Falloween in there. So yeah, thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.
Bye bye.